After Israel had asked for a human king, the nation enjoyed a period of unity for just a short time. The kingdom would soon be divided, 10 tribes in the north and 2 tribes in the south. The northern kingdom would not follow God's law. They would follow after other gods. And so God swept them off the land with the Assyrian nation. They went into captivity, never to return. The 2 southern tribes would also soon follow after other gods and fail to follow God's will. God would use the Babylonians to sweep them off the land and bring them into captivity. The prophet Jeremiah said they would be there for 70 years. During that time, there was a prisoner of war named Ezekiel. He was a prophet, but more than a prophet, he was also a priest. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet tells us of the visions he received from God while a captive. Ezekiel 1 is a vision of the glory of God, and we see a very vivid and colorful picture there. In Ezekiel chapter 10, we see the same picture. It is the glory of God. Only this time, Ezekiel 10 and verse 18 says that the glory of God is departing from Jerusalem. It's departing from the temple. For a priest who worked in the temple, who understood and experienced the living God and experienced His presence, it must have been a devastating thing to see God's glory departing. But Israel had sinned. They had gotten to the point that they would no longer hear the prophets. They were no longer distinguishable from their neighboring nations. They were beyond remedy. 2 Chronicles 36 and verse 16. And so God departs. It is a major turning point in the story of the Bible and in the story of Israel. Back in Genesis, God chose a nation through Abraham. In the book of Exodus, He redeemed that nation from Egypt. In the book of Leviticus, we find God dwelling among His people. The instruction there to build the tabernacle. We see God descending upon the tabernacle. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. They could see the presence of God in their camp. In addition to the tabernacle was something very special inside. In the Holy of Holies was the Ark of the Covenant. Some translations say the Ark of the Testimony, because in that container was the testimony, the covenant, the law of God that Moses had brought down from Sinai. In Exodus 25 and verse 22, God says that He will speak to the children of Israel from above that ark, from above the mercy seat between the wings of the cherubim. We see an example of this in Numbers chapter 7 and verse 89. So Israel had grown to enjoy God's presence, to see His presence, and they had associated the Ark of the Covenant with that presence. Back in the book of Genesis, at the very beginning, we see man enjoying fellowship with God. But after the fall, we only see episodic visitations of God to Noah and Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, even Moses. But now that there's a tabernacle, we see God descending in a very real and powerful way. And to just get a glimpse of how valuable that presence, that glory of God was to the children of Israel, we look at 1 Samuel chapter 4. In 1 Samuel 4, the Israelites had just lost a battle to the Philistines. They thought that if they brought the Ark of the Covenant into battle with them, they would surely win, but they didn't. The Philistines won the battle. They slaughtered 30,000 Israelite soldiers. And in addition to this, they captured the ark. When the survivors came back and told the priest Eli that they had lost the battle, he was devastated. When they told Eli that 30,000 Israelite soldiers had died, he was extremely sad. When they told him that 2 of those soldiers, 2 of those men that had died, were his sons, Hophni and Phinehas, it was almost more than he could take. But in 1 Samuel 4 and verse 18, the text says, when he heard the ark was captured, he fell backward off his chair, broke his neck, and died. 1 Samuel 4 ends in verse 22. Phinehas, Eli's son, had died. His wife was pregnant. When she found out her husband died, she was obviously greatly grieved. When she found out her father-in-law, Eli, had also just died, it was such a traumatic experience that she went into labor. A labor so difficult it would take her life. But after she delivered the baby and just before she died, she named that child not Phinehas Jr. after his father, not Eli Jr. after his father-in-law. She named him Ichabod, a word meaning no glory. The text says, because the glory of the Lord had departed from Israel and the ark had been captured. So now back to Ezekiel chapter 10 and verse 18. Ezekiel, this Jewish priest, is seeing the glory of God departing from the temple, a picture of abandonment and judgment and condemnation and hopelessness. I think you'll agree with me, it's a major turning point in the story of the Bible. We'll pick up here next time. Thanks for watching.